Jared, great to see you. We're going to get onto that 1-year anniversary, onto the company in a moment. But tell us about how excited or nervous you are drawing closer to that first civilian flight.
Oh, I'm not nervous at all, but incredibly excited. I mean, you know, we're about 3.5 months out from the launch, and in fact, the first stage booster that you were referencing earlier that took off to space today and landed back on a drone ship in the middle of the ocean, well, that's going to be the same booster that's going to take me and my crew to space in just about 3.5 months from now. So I was very interested in making sure it nailed its landing, and it did it perfectly.
Well, quite. I mean, extra reason for you, but I guess good for everyone involved. I want to pivot to the company, Jared, to Shift4Payments, and I guess it's such a disruptive company, but at the same time very tied to the economy. So tell us your outlook for the economy and whether you feel you can kind of disconnect from whatever the economy does, or whether you're very much tied to it long term.
Well, for sure. I mean, first, it's great to be back here at the New York Stock Exchange. We rang the bell here in June 5th of 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. And Shift4, we cater payment. We power commerce for some of the most complex ends of the commerce spectrum. So about 1 in 3 hotels, restaurants, and resorts in this country rely on some form of Shift4 payment technology. So you can imagine going public in the middle of a pandemic with customers that were so heavily impacted by the pandemic. But in 2020, we grew our payment volume double digits. If we fast forward to 2021 now, we've been seeing record payment volume every weekend since Valentine's Day weekend. The world is certainly opening up. Social distancing restrictions are being loosened. People are having, consumers have confidence through vaccines to go out and re-engage in commerce, and we're continuing to see record volume accelerate. Now, you know, Shift4 is a little bit disconnected from general economic trends because we've been a share taker for some time now. That's how we actually grew during the pandemic, is our value proposition resonates really well in the best and worst of economic times. And we've been seeing outsized growth from that during the pandemic. We're continuing to expect that as we progress in 2021 and beyond.
So, Jared, as the CEO of a public company here at the New York Stock Exchange, there's a lot of enthusiasm from investors around space and this idea of space tourism, even though it's years away from actually becoming something more mainstream. Would you invest in any of these stocks, Virgin Galactic or any of the other technology stocks tied to space flight, or is it too speculative at this point?
Well, there's only one company that I'm willing to invest my money in and also risk my life for, and that's SpaceX. There's no question, category leader. This is a company that's reinvigorated the world's interest in space exploration. They're landing rockets on ships in the middle of the ocean. That's, aside from the cool factor, that reusable space technology they've pioneered is what's going to make space more affordable and therefore accessible to everyone. And since we're talking about, you know, business and total addressable markets, when you're able to put something up into orbital spaceflight, that can be cargo, that can be a resupply mission to the space station like we saw today, that can be human beings going off and, you know, exploring the world beyond ours. But when you come to suborbital spaceflight, which is what some of the other stocks are that you referenced, well, the TAM there is very questionable because it's kind of a one-time experience. You're not putting payload up into space. The actual commercial opportunity is somewhat questionable at that point. So if you ask me who I'm betting on, and I'm already doing it, it's going to be SpaceX.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.